Morning. Hope everyone's having a great Memorial Day. I decided to take a break from mine to talk a little bit about what I think is going to be one of the easiest opportunities over the next couple of years for people to make a good amount of money in the stock market. And what I am talking about is the powerhouse that is really driving the market now, Nvidia. So, excuse my handwriting. I'm doing this on the computer, so it may not be the cleanest, but NVIDIA is a chip maker, and right now they are really driving the AI space by making chips to for other companies to actually build out large language models and AIs, right? And they also offer this data center space that allows for the computing power for these AIs and these supercomputers. You may remember during the pandemic, NVIDIA was really driven by people building out gaming systems or mining systems and needed these large processing chips to mine Bitcoin and different cryptos or to power their gaming systems. But now with the AI boom, they've really been the forefront of getting the benefit of this AI move with a lot of the major companies who are building out their co-pilots and AI models utilizing the NVIDIA chips because of their power. All right. So why am I talking about NVIDIA? Well, NVIDIA just announced that they're going to be doing a 10-to-1 stock split, right? 10-to-1 stock split. And what this means is that for anybody that holds one share of NVIDIA right now, after June 11th, no, sorry, June 7th, June 7th is the effective date, but it actually takes place on June 10th. And again, parting my handwriting, should have been a doctor. That's why it's so messy. Anyway, so June 10th is when it actually takes effect. So anyone who has one share of NVIDIA stock today on June 10th, you will wake up and have 10 shares of NVIDIA stock. Now, this doesn't really change anything as far as the value of the NVIDIA stock. Essentially, you're still going to have the same value in your NVIDIA stock holdings. However, what this is now going to do is going to allow retail investors that are probably priced out of NVIDIA right now, since it's currently trading at 1,056 per share. That's a lot for most people. So when this happens, these new contracts, or I'm sorry, these new shares, if this price remains the same through June, these new shares will now be worth $105.60, give or take, right? Give or take. So more people can afford this. So what this allows is more retail investors who missed the boat on NVIDIA during their last split to have the ability to come in and start buying NVIDIA shares at a much cheaper price. Again, this doesn't really change the price for those that hold today, but what happens is when these new retail investors start pouring in at this price point here, what's going to happen? There's going to be a lot more demand for NVIDIA shares, which is going to make this price most likely go up. So why do I say most likely going to go up? Well, let's take a look at history. NVIDIA's last stock split was in 2001 of July. And at that time, right before the stock split, NVIDIA's price was $756. After the stock split, it was a 4-to-1 stock split. So again, if you had one share of NVIDIA, now you would have had 4 shares of NVIDIA after that stock split happened. After that stock split happened, the shares came down to $1.87 and I think 60 cents, right? 2021 is when this happened. That is right under 3 years ago, because this was July 2021. So in the last 3 years, this stock has gone from $187 to $1,056. And I think it peaked out this week at 1,069 or so. So give or take. So, or 5.87x, or 587, 587%, not dollars there. Get out there. What's the percent sign? There we go. Percent. You're in the way. Anyway. All right. So 5.87x over the last 3.5 years. So my educated guess is what's going to happen when NVIDIA splits. Again, it's going to split from 1,056, and it's going to cause the share prices to now be $105.60, which is a lot cheaper than the last split of $187. Retail investors are going to rush into this, the ones who missed out on NVIDIA. And let's say even over the next same period, 3 years, this goes up half as much as it did last time. Let's say it goes up 3x. Whatever you put into NVIDIA in July or June, whenever the split happens, give it 3 years and you'll probably make 300% on your returns. because NVIDIA also said in their earnings is that even though they're continuing to blow things out, right? Their revenue soared quarter over quarter, 260%, right? Sorry, year over year, quarter over quarter, same quarter, 262%. There's no signs of slowing down. They also said that the demand just continues to increase. They continue to put out new AI chips. They continue to innovate. Their vision is to have NVIDIA actually be just one huge AI. They just had a video release where it says NVIDIA is now using AIs to create better AI. So this is not going to stop. They're going to continue to be that forerunner in the AI space. And yeah, I hear about people like Microsoft and AMD and Amazon saying they're going to be making their own chips to compete with NVIDIA. And the thing with that is when you have a company like NVIDIA that's been around, I think 15, 16 years, when you have a company that has a 15, 16, 17-year head start, and they have a competitive advantage because they know the space because this is what they've been focused on. It's going to be hard for a company to really come in and take a lot of market share from someone that's had such a head start. Look at the cloud wars, right? Amazon was first to cloud 15 years ago. Microsoft came in the space very shortly after, and they still over the last 10 years of being in the clouds, even though they got a little market share, they still trail Amazon as the number two cloud provider, even with their growth being faster than Amazon over the last couple of years. It's really hard to make up space. This is like someone having a, a 70 yard head start or 70-meter head start in a 100-meter yard dash, right? It's going to be very hard to close that gap unless you're Tyreek Hill or something. So this is what I'm thinking is going to happen. So what I'm saying is my strategy, a couple things. My strategy when this happens at $105.56 or 60 cents, right? Typically, when a stock split happens, stocks actually go down immediately after because you have big institutions that are now overweighted, so they have to start selling. I don't think this is going to happen with Nvidia. It didn't happen the last time with Nvidia because the price becomes so palatable for retail investors that missed out on the hype and have FOMO that they're just going to pour right in. So you're not going to see a price drop. Last time with Nvidia, you didn't see a price drop, and it just accelerated over the last 3.5 years, or sorry, a little under 3 years, and just kept going up until we are where we're at today. So my plan is to just wait until the split, grab the shares whenever it happens. So I'm going to go pretty heavy on shares, right? And then I'm a trader. You guys know this. So I'm also going to go pretty heavy on leap options. And a leap option is just an option that's over a year's time. So I'm going to do a leap option. So last time when NVIDIA split 187.6, a 2-year leap option from that time point for like a $200 leap, which is a 20% increase in the stock price, was only like $1,800, not very expensive. So my plan is to also go pretty heavy on leap options. I'm talking multiple contracts on leap options. Since this split happened 3 years from the last split, I'm going to give my leap option maybe 2.5 years, 2.5 years on my leap option. I'm going to do a leap option that's about 20 to 30% away from the current stock price. On NVIDIA, that's going to be my strike price is about 20 to 30%. I'm just going to let it ride for 2.5 years. And if this thing goes up another 3x, or like it did this last time, almost 6x, 5.87x, while that's 300% on the share price, this is going to be thousands of percentage on options contracts. So those are my two plays for NVIDIA. Again, what I will say, and I said this the last time that NVIDIA split, do not miss out on this opportunity, right? Right now, we have about 2 weeks. Most people are going to be getting paid in the next 2 weeks. Set aside a portion of that check and buy you some NVIDIA shares. Do not miss out on this opportunity, right? This is going to be one of the easiest ways for you to get started and make money in the stock market. All right, so let's say, hey, I don't know anything about the stock market, so how do I get started here? Well, a couple things you could do. Let's erase all of this and let's talk about how can we get started in the stock market. All right, get out of there. All right, so a couple ways to get started in the stock market. Robinhood. Robinhood is an application that you can download. You may have heard of that one. It was pretty big during GameStop mania back in the heyday of the squeeze market meme stock. So Robinhood's an easy one, very user friendly. Put a little money in Robinhood, buy you some shares of Nvidia. Also, when you sign up with Robinhood and put some money in, they give you um, some free stock that you can get started with. Right. Another one is Stash. I like Stash a lot. Here's why I like Stash. I like Stash a lot because you can kind of auto invest with Stash. You can say, hey, I'm going to sign up with this. I'm going to put some money in. Again, it's going to give you some free shares also, or I think maybe $20 or something like that that it gives you. And then just set an auto amount and say, I don't have, enough to get 5, 6, 7 shares of Nvidia right now. But remember, we're thinking about a 3x, 4x return over the next 3 years. So you can do Stash and just put away $5, $10 a week, 5, 10, $20 a month. They automatically go into buying you Nvidia shares for the next 3, 4 years, and you're going to look up and be a very happy camper, right? Acorns is another one that does similar to that. So Acorns is another one that helps you grow. So the way that Acorns work is you have it round up on your expenses or your things that you buy. So let's say you buy a soda for a dollar 85 and say I want to round up to the nearest dollar. So the additional 15% will be rounded up and putting your expense at $2, but that 15% goes towards stock. So that's another one that you can do, right, to force an investment mechanism. And then for those that are, a little more advanced, you have your trading. I mean, you have your TD Ameritrades, or I think it's Charles Schwab now, TD Ameritrade. You have your Fidelities, right? You have your E-Trade. There's a ton out there, right? Just get started. Here's the thing, just get started. The stock market is one of the quickest and easiest paths to kind of grow your portfolio. So I would say just get started. And I think this is going to be a great opportunity for individuals that are new to the market with NVIDIA. And again, even if you get into it and you see a couple of dips, remember this is 2, 3, 4 years that we're going to be holding this stock, consistently buying this stock, because the probability of this thing 3, 4xing is very, very high just based on history, right? Over the last decade, the stock, because of all the stock splits that it has done, and then just its parabolic growth, the stock has gone up 3,000% over the last decade. So think about that. It's 300% return every single year. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get that in the next 3 to 4 years, but 300% return, 400% return is still great, right? Even if if it goes up 300% in 3 years, that's 100% return average every single year. You're not getting that anywhere else. So don't miss out on this opportunity. Peace.